Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Kathy, and I'm going to put out this short little video here showing his friend, Eric's friend, Dwayne, on Dwayne's channel, put out a video how he's done helping people because of Whitaker's ruined his taste for helping people. But anyway, during this video, Dwayne is going to admit that Eric missed the September 4th appointment because he forgot, because he was so busy with the Amish that he forgot. Anyway, we're going to hear that in a minute. Now, if you watched this video that I put on 12 days ago, I think it says, 12 days ago, did Eric miss the 9/4 court date? Story changed. I used the calendar to show the nonsense that his stories didn't make sense. And I showed the calendar right there, how his story was contradicting itself. Now, ever since that court date, and on the Friday the 5th, ever since that day, Eric canceled the court date because BJ was back, and because the restraining order, he over and over for hours on end, live stream after live stream, hours and hours, day after day, he demonized Betty. He accused Betty of canceling the restraining order behind Eric's back. Eric said it was going to be next week and all this other stuff. I used that calendar to show you that this is all nonsense. And I know he knew when it was. Absolutely. For one thing, when they left there, they said September 4th. Those are two single digits, really easy to remember, 9/4. And second of all, Eric probably was the only one that had the papers. That's what Betty said later. Third of all, why didn't he ever say the court date? He just said 10 days. He was real vague about when it was. But if he would have told everybody straight up that it was September 4th, a week tomorrow, he could have gone gallivanting off with his friends from all over the country on this Amish mission to nowhere. And then he couldn't have came back the next day on Friday the 5th and blame everything on Betty and call the deal off, even though there never was a deal. There's no deal. You haven't even signed a contract yet about the house. How can you break a deal? It hasn't been written yet. So there wasn't nothing that said BJ can't be on the property or the house doesn't go through. There's nothing in writing about that. So how can you break a deal and then blame it all on Betty and have the whole world hate Betty, blame Betty? It's Betty, BJ, and Larry's fault. He's convinced, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of people, that Betty canceled this restraining order behind his back. We're going to listen to Eric's own best friend, because his best friends, they like to talk. Oh, and of course, by blaming Betty to cancel the restraining order, he's got his big excuse to call the deal off and go home with all the money, in which he did. Oh, and he tried to take Timmy with him, too. He was supposed to go the next day, but that didn't work out. Okay, Dwayne, tell us. Tell us how your friend Eric was on this, like, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom mission to get a bishop to build a house. Because it's the most ridiculous story we all ever heard, okay? But Dwayne here is going to stand up for his friend Eric and tell him that, yeah, Eric, missed the September 4th court date that he pushed for. But he was busy. He was busy with his Amish friends, and he had a mission. He was going to get that log home in the back of property that they don't even know who owns. So go ahead, Dwayne. Tell him about how Eric missed the court date. The one,
For justice for his slain son. Flies in on his own dime to help. Why? Because he can actually talk to the Amish and keep this house still alive. And another buddy of his, Mark, shows up from California, delving up on a mountain moving pieces. You think, wow, teamwork makes the dream work, right? Wrong. Because with the eyes on the prize, the damn house for the Whitakers, Eric accidentally missed the court date on September 4th.
He did what? I thought there was hours and hours of live streams that, you and Eric did together blaming Betty. What's going on here? Dwayne, what's going on? You did days and days and days. You spent demonizing Betty with Eric on live streams. I don't even know, 3-hour live streams at a time. You spent hours and hours demonizing Betty for canceling that restraining order. Now you're saying, yeah, Eric knew about it. He forgot about it because he was too busy with his Amish friends on I don't even know, fantasy mission on everybody else's dime, on everybody's donations, by the way. But go ahead.
Moving pieces. You think, wow, teamwork makes the dream work, right? Wrong. Because with the eyes on the prize, the damn house for the Whitakers, Eric accidentally missed the court date on September 4th. Oh, and let me clarify.
Right there. He accidentally missed the court date on September 4th. But we're going to let him continue because, Eric's friends like to talk. So go ahead, Dwayne. Tell him why why they should have just gotten there on their own when not one of them wanted it.
On the prize, the damn house for the Whitakers, Eric accidentally missed the court date on September 4th. Oh, and let me clarify. The only person who could have testified was Betty.
Nope. I have a clip of Eric saying that he had to do all the talking in order to get the temporary restraining order on the Wednesday before. Eric said that Betty and Larry, neither one of them would speak. Eric was the only one that spoke at that hearing. Eric was the only one telling about the abuse, and he's complaining about that. I mean, I have that on a clip. So don't tell me that Eric was the only, or Betty was the only one that could testify, because Betty wasn't speaking at all when he got the temporary one. And this is a lot of lame excuses for a guy who, in front of the entire world, pushed for this restraining order nobody else wanted or could even understand why it was necessary. But Eric pushes for all this and then goes off with some Amish friends, or ex-Amish, and all this other nonsense. But now he's going to complain. Oh, and by the way, I just put out a video about that blackmailing Larry for the RO. And if you listen to the clips in that blackmailing RO when he's in Patrick's house with no walls, look at that clip, and he said, neither Betty nor Larry filled out the forms. It was all in Eric's handwriting. So Eric is the only one that did the handwriting and filled out all the forms for restraining order. And Eric was the only one who spoke at the hearing. And that was to get the temporary order. So don't tell me, because Eric was the only one who spoke and filled out forms for the temporary one. So for him to say that Betty was the only one that could have gotten it, no. And there's a lot of lame excuses for missing it. Yeah, Eric forgot. Well, that's the first we've heard anybody admit that, because he went through hell and high water to deny it. It was all Betty's fault. He didn't do any live streams saying, I forgot the court date. No, because that wouldn't get him off the hook for that deal for the house, would it? And it wouldn't be Eric's fault that BJ's in the camper now, would it? And Eric couldn't have gone gallivanting up on their porch and scream at everybody because BJ's there if he admitted that he forgot about it, would he? But now that, the nuclear bomb has gone off and Eric went home, now you're admitting. Now that everybody thinks Betty's horrible and they all blew the deal. If you had just said this from the beginning, Betty, BJ, and Larry couldn't have been used for a scapegoat. If you had admitted from the beginning that Eric missed a court date, none of his BS would have worked. He couldn't have gone home with all the money and called the deal off if he had admitted he was the one that missed it. He couldn't be angry about BJ being there because he was the one that missed it. He couldn't have blamed Betty for anything because he was the one that missed it. So by you, Dwayne, admitting that Eric knew about it and missed it because he was too busy out with his Amish friends, which is another joke in itself. But by you admitting that, you just blew all those things that you blamed and used them for scapegoats. You couldn't have used them for scapegoats had you admitted that from the get-go. But go ahead. Tell us more. We're going to listen to his BS here.
Oh, and let me clarify. The only person who could have testified was Betty.
Wrong.
Everyone else knew about the hearing. Everyone. They all knew Eric was meeting with the Amish that exact day. Now, this is the crazy part. You're telling me not one of these lazy asses could have said, "Hey, Eric, heads up, the court thing is on the exact same day."
Why does anybody have to remind Eric? It's Eric's deal. He blackmailed Larry to get there. They coerced and threatened and bribed Betty to be there. He did all the paperwork, filling it out. He did all the talking to get the temporary one too. It was all on him. And now we're supposed to do what? Blame everybody else? Wow. I can see why you and Eric are friends. I can't even believe this thought process, but I don't know. Somehow you got it in common, so go ahead.
Eric, heads up, the court thing is on the exact same day. Or even better.
Why would anybody have to give Eric a heads up that the court date that you got handed a week ago is on the same day that your friends are flying in the day before? Your friends are flying in Wednesday the 3rd. Why would we all have to remind Eric? Why do we all have to remind Eric? You know, for 2 weeks now, I showed you on the timeline. For 2 weeks, Eric knew his friends were coming on the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th. So when they handed, long before that court date, temporary court date. So when they handed him the court date for the 4th, he said, "Oh my, I better change something because on the 4th here, my friends and I are going to see the Amish. My friends are flying in on the 3rd. We're seeing the Amish on the 4th. They're supposed to abscond with Timmy on the 6th," and so on. So anyway, yeah, none of this makes sense. Go ahead.
Telling me that one of these lazy asses could have said, "Hey, Eric, heads up, the court thing is on the exact same day." Or even better, "Don't worry, man, I'll drive them." I mean, remember, Larry can drive. But no, they all sit there with their thumbs up their ass doing nothing, and then somehow it's all Eric's fault. I mean,
whose fault should it be? Dwayne, reality check. Like I said, this is why they must get along, because neither one of them are in reality. Or they're pretending not to be or something, because this makes no sense. Who else should we blame? Who went to the court, did all this, and walked out with the papers? I didn't. Did you? Anybody out here? Raise your hand if you were there and got the papers. So who should we blame?
Nothing, and then somehow it's all Eric's fault. I mean, really, the guy is running the entire circus, juggling the...
Right there, running the entire circus. It shouldn't have been a circus. This is somebody's family you're dealing with. Somebody's family who was just fine sitting on the porch, watching a car or two go by every day, sitting with their family, wondering what they're going to make for dinner. And you guys, you're the one that turned it into a circus. See how he flips this all around? Just like his buddy, Eric. Flips it around. Makes it everybody else's fault except Eric's. This is very creative. Textbook. Go ahead.
The guy is running the entire circus, juggling the flaming chainsaws. But sure, let's blame the one dude actually doing the work. It makes total sense if you're a keyboard warrior with half a brain cell. So,
Wow. Okay, we're gonna watch the end of this clip. Juggling flaming chainsaws. Why did it have to be a circus with juggling flaming chainsaws? The only one that brought in flaming juggling chainsaws was Eric. Maybe Patrick too. He might have lit the flame on the chainsaw. I don't know. He might have provided the chainsaw. But we're going to listen to the rest of this, how it's all just, they're victims, playing victims.
But sure, let's blame the one dude actually doing the work.
Doing the work.
Makes total sense if you're a keyboard warrior with having a brain cell. So while the rest of the zoo crew is doing, well, absolutely nothing, sitting on their asses, pointing fingers, playing victim, Eric, Robert, and Mark actually do the thing.
Do the thing. What thing? Go out and rent Airbnbs, travel to another state and all this up, pick their friend up from North Carolina. Robert Mass' friend, your friend of a friend you picked up from North Carolina, drove back. And then went to, I don't know, Virginia, another state, and went to, I mean, that's the thing. Thousands and thousands and thousands of Whitaker money doing the thing. He's going to say they pulled out the hair. Anyway, this is an excuse why he missed the court. He's trying to tell you what the fantastic things that they were doing while everybody else could have gone to court. Go ahead.
Robert and Mark actually do the thing.
The thing.
With the Amish and pull off that Hail Mary of Hail Mary.
Hail Mary of Hail Marys. What? Getting an Amish builder to build a house? The Amish agreed to build a house. That's a Hail Mary of Hail Marys? You got some low standards because you could have just picked up the phone and not spent a penny. And found out, because their numbers are published. They want you to call. That's what they do. Anyway, pulled out the Hail Mary of Hail Marys. It only took, what, $50,000? All right, go ahead. I'm sorry, keep interrupting.
Mark actually do the thing.
The thing.
They meet with the Amish and pull off that Hail Mary of Hail Marys. The Amish agreed to build the Whitakers a house. Not a shack, not some half-baked idea, a real house.
No. Okay, you forgot about the pipe dream. Because really, remember, I put up a video and I showed. Eric admitted at the end it was all a pipe dream. So maybe it wasn't a shack or half-baked idea. Or a what? A real house? I don't even know. But it was a pipe dream and Eric admitted. But anyway, it was half-baked. It was... Actually, a shack would have been at least something. They got nothing.
Next up, off to the county to start the permit process. You know, the boring but critical stuff that actually has to happen if you want 4 walls and a roof.
And by the way, according to Patrick the other day, he was on a live stream being questioned, and Patrick said that Eric knew from the get-go that when it all started that Whitakers didn't own that property. He said that was part of the falling out, but whatever. He didn't speak up though, did he? He should have just said it right on live stream, blurted out. Well, they don't own the property. But anyway, then Patrick don't get paid. Whatever. Some reason he's not admitting it till now when they've fallen out. But he's saying that Eric knew the whole time that Whitakers didn't own that property. Now, they do own the property across the road, and the property across the road has a septic. So wouldn't it made all the sense in the world to just, put in a double wide? Nope, can't do that. Like I said, practical ideas were out the window and blocked. It had to be this Amish Hail Mary thing. Hail Mary of Hail Marys. But anyway, we'll finish this up.
The critical stuff that actually has to happen if you want 4 walls and a roof. And here's where it gets good. For all you internet sleuths out there, the wannabe detectives with a Google search and zero comprehension skills, let's clear something up. Eric posted, and I quote, got all of our applications with the permits. Read that again slowly. Got all of our applications with the permits.
I am reading it slowly. And you know what I see? We just had our first meeting with the city and got all of our applications with the permits and necessary documents to get this thing rolling. You didn't get the applications for the permits. You got your applications with the permits. So, Dwayne, when you try to like double talk and turn stuff into something, what do you guys see? It's not the applications for the permits. And you all heard him on a live stream saying he got the permits. And he tried to double back on that and say, no, I said we were going to get the permits. Most of us heard him say he got the permits. So, you got all of our applications with the permits, not for the permits. Anyway, go ahead.
Applications with the permits. Now, notice what it doesn't say.
It doesn't say for the permits. I already noticed.
It doesn't say, got all the permits. Big difference. Where's that?
Now he's trying semantics. Was there a house built? No. Go read that. Was there a house built? No. So who cares? Permit, not permit, permit was? Doesn't matter. It's all semantics. Okay, well, I'm going to wrap it up one more time. One more for the road.
You think, wow, teamwork makes the dream work, right? Wrong. Because with the eyes on the prize, the damn house for the Whitakers, Eric accidentally missed the court date on September 4th.
Yep. Like I said, if he had said that on September 5th, he would still be there with a bunch of excuses that he'd still have to come up with. He wouldn't have a escape hatch, would he? Anyway, thanks for listening, and peace.